Oh, hey, how's it going? So, this is Dylan with Dylan. No, why do I always do that? That's the other YouTube channel. This is Dylan, Music and Mascara. And I was thinking today, I would give you a little update, catch you up. It's been a month with this as our house, our 2014 Forest River Georgetown XL360 something. Anyway, and Jeep Rubicon to pull behind it. More on that later. But I just figured I'd give you what it's like. I mean, we went from a 1,500 square foot house to living in a bedroom at my in-laws' house to living in a motorhome. And theoretically, being able to travel. Now, when you first see this video, this is going to be right at the height of all this COVID-19 stuff. So we are actually back in Georgia, and there is a shelter-in-place order that goes into effect tonight. So we are basically staying in the driveway. So we'll get to a couple of things about that. But I was just going to give you a little bit of kind of an update. A few things we did to make life more amazing, and we'll get some thoughts from Leslie, hopefully a little spontaneous. I'm just gonna sneak in there and start asking her, and I'll show you a couple things that we did to the motorhome. Come on. Oh, well, I guess this needs to come with me. Okay, so we went to Florida. We got the motorhome in Tampa. We drove it back here. It was a pain because there was nowhere to plug in. So we said, well, let's go back to Florida because we need to go to Florida to get some stuff for the Jeep, which we'll get into in a minute. So we drove to Florida. We got there, and our slides didn't work. Our jacks didn't work. Nothing worked. It's hot. I am not very happy. It was a bad day for me anyway. Anyway, long and short of it was, I was very, very frustrated. Got on the internets for a few minutes, figured out some stuff, and realized that I blew a fuse. Because I think my batteries are starting to be a little weak. So we had to take out the stepwell right here, replace a fuse, let the batteries charge back up after being on the road and running on the inverter for a while, because we have a residential fridge, so it's a little bit hard on that. So yeah, throw the fuse in, boom, everything works. Everything has worked ever since, and I'm just making sure that until I can address this battery situation. If you're an RVer, let me know in the comments. Should I go AGM or lithium? I'm trying to decide. I'd like to upgrade from the lead acid stuff. I don't know yet. Long and the short of it is, slides work. Everything works. We're totally fine. We did have one other problem when we got to Florida. Problem number 2. We got all the way to Florida, came in the bedroom, and all of our closets, the clothes, were all torn out of the ceiling and laying in the bottom. So let me show you what the problem was. So these Forest River Georgetowns have, see where those holes are in the ceiling? They have this like little metal bracket that has little holes in it, and you put the hangers through the little holes and they hang all the way across the top of the closet. They ripped out of the ceiling, and because we have a lot of hanging clothes, probably too many. Anyway, ripped out of the ceiling. So what I did was, for 35 bucks, went to Lowe's and fashioned, whoops, sorry, hit the microphone, fashioned myself a situation there where we have an actual closet rod. Now, stuff can still slide back and forth, but I think it's going to be okay. We'll see what happens. But that is the latest solution for that. Okay, and now for the reason why we went to Florida in the first place. You would think, why are you traveling? Well, all this stuff is going on with COVID-19 and etc. Well, the real reason is because we had a YouTube viewer, thank you Mike, from the Dylan Talks Tone channel, and then he became a YouTube viewer on this channel, and he sent me a message and said, hey, I sold my motorhome. I've got the entire towing setup for a Jeep Wrangler, the same Jeep Wrangler that you have, and I'll sell it to you for a very reasonable amount of money that made it worth going to Florida. So thank you, Mike, because now we have a Blue Ox tow bar on the back of our motorhome. Now, and then we went ahead and took off the factory bumper and put on the reinforcement onto the Jeep. And that turned into a bit of a project because the factory Jeep Rubicon Recon Edition bumper didn't fit with the Blue Ox tow bar system. So, let me show you what I did. New bumper. I mean, it's a Jeep. You're just looking for excuses to upgrade bumpers and stuff anyway. So, I'll put a link to this bumper in the description below. If you have a Jeep Wrangler and you want an aftermarket bumper, this is a JK. One of the things that I figured out you had to worry about is if the bumper comes down below, there's a reinforcement behind here. And if you look in the pictures, if the bumper comes down below this, for normal off-roading people, that's what they want, because they want to protect that. I didn't want that. I wanted that bumper reinforcement to show underneath the bumper. So I picked this particular bumper by Rampage Products, I think, so that I could clear the tow setup. It works perfect. It was not expensive, and I was actually able to sell the factory bumper for more than what this bumper costs. So, you know, it actually worked out pretty good. And I'm super stoked with it. It was an easy install. Everything was awesome. If you want me to do a actual video just specifically on the bumper, more details about it, we could do that. I'm gonna actually buy some fog lights to go in here because my factory fog lights didn't fit. But overall, pretty awesome. And man, the Jeep tows so good behind the motorhome. So the thing about towing, I was at first going to be a little bit nervous about, you know, towing the Jeep behind the motorhome. But as I started to do it, I realized that, like, as a truck passes you, because, you know, you're most of the time in the right lane going slower than everybody anyway. So as a truck comes up your left side, the wind hits it. And of course, I've got like 14 feet of rear overhang, right? So it wants to give that thing like a little wiggle. With the Jeep on there, it completely settled it down. Oh my gosh, it made a big difference. And I am super in love with the setup. Really easy, tows well. Killed my gas mileage just a little bit, but now I don't have to fill that thing up and fill this thing up at the same time. I mean, hashtag COVID-19, I just filled this thing up yesterday for $1.25. So, you know, what are you gonna do? There's gives and takes to everything, I guess. Not really. I wish this whole thing was over so that we could get back to... Anyway, that's a whole ball game we don't need to get into right now. Anyway, overall, that setup is super killer. Loving it. Loving the bumper. What else? Oh yeah, we did some stuff on the roof too. Let me show you that. Okay, I know it's not super exciting, but we put a max air vent on the rear bathroom vent, and then also on the one above the kitchen, right up there. Just so that we could run our roof vents open when it was raining, while we were going down the road. And let me tell you, it has made a massive difference in the ventilation of this place. Holy smokes. Another thing, and then not very exciting maybe for you department, but very exciting thing for us, is since we are stuck more or less at Leslie's parents' house in the driveway because of this whole COVID-19 situation, I had my friend come over and put in a 50 amp service. Boom. And kind of made it custom for us. And so now we can plug in our surge protector, plug in 50 amp service. We've got water right here. And then the only thing I have to do, you know, every 5 or 6 days or so is we found a rest area that's very close to us that we can go and dump our sewer tanks. So at least we can get by and not be totally jammed up, you know, because of this whole having to stay in one place situation. All right, so I guess that's the update. I'm like all squished up right here because I'm trying to stay in the shade. Let's go inside and ask Leslie what she thinks about living in a motorhome for our first month. I haven't actually given you my thoughts, just giving an update on how we've gotten to this point and dealt with various situations. Oh, wait a minute. There's one more thing. So we had this thing for like 3 weeks before it ever rained. And I'd washed it and sprayed it and checked it and still didn't realize there was a leak at the top of the windshield. So it took me a couple of tries and a couple of rainstorms, but I figured it out and the leak is fixed. And we've had some really hard rains now. The leak at the top of the windshield is fixed. Nothing else leaks. Everything is cool. We even added the wine guard system. We put an extra, there's a video about that. You can check it out. We'll put one of those gray things up here. But overall, now we're cool. No leaks, no water where it's not supposed to be. Everything is awesome. The only two little problems I have is the electric side of my hot water is not working, but the propane side is. I think I know what the problem is though. We troubleshooted that the other day. Troubleshot, whatever. Anyway, and then the other thing is I think the check valve in my water pump is going bad. So if I use city water and leave it plugged in, it slowly fills up my water tank. It's not supposed to do that. So that's the other little thing. But if we just live off the tank, which we're doing right now anyway because of the way everything is, we're getting by. So a couple little problems, but manageable and not expensive. Now, let's go ask Leslie what she thinks about living in a motorhome, because that's what a lot of people really want to know. Hello. So, these people, hang on, let me get this on the tripod. I think these people are more dying to know more than anything how you feel about living in a motorhome after our first month of living full-time in a motorhome.
I love it. It is not as intimidating as I thought it would be. This is also not as small as I thought it would be, so.
Yeah, we ended up a little bigger.
But cooking has been fine, sleeping's been fine. The bathroom is big enough.
Our bed is...
space has been good, yeah.
Our bed is in... Yeah, your office is here and mine is basically all the way up there. It seems to be fine. Internet is always a little bit of a challenge, but I think we're figuring it out.
Yeah, well, we knew that.
Yeah.
We knew it would always be, like, #1 priority and probably also the toughest.
Yep.
So
but
just be unprepared.
The wine guard things really helped because we can go 4G or Wi-Fi. Right now we're Wi-Fi because we're close to her parents' house, so it's all working. The only other thing that is making it harder is this whole COVID-19 thing. I think if we didn't have that going on, it would be a lot easier because we could just pretty much go wherever we want. It's weird having...
It'd be a lot funner. That's
it
for
would
sure.
be a lot more fun, yeah.
Yeah.
We're getting really familiar with the driveway.
Yeah.
But I was just showing them the wiring setup and some other stuff we did to make it easier to live here. But
now that we're ready to tow and can't go anywhere.
Yeah, we could tow the Jeep, but now we can't.
Yeah.
So I guess we're stuck. But we're ready for when we're ready, which is cool, and it feels good. I'm stoked. I love this thing. I love it. I just keep finding little things and reasons why, even though we didn't expect to get this particular motorhome, it just keeps being the right one for us.
Right.
Which
I would agree.
is tough. I think there's a lot of people spend a lot of time shopping and then aren't happy, but I don't know. I just feel like it ended up perfect. I mean, there's little things. I was telling them about some stuff that's broken that we got to fix, but I think it's always going to be like that, But you're working?
Yeah.
She works from home, so.
And for the most part, everything that we need does work.
Yeah.
And even the things that are broken still work, right?
Yeah, the water and the hot
Yeah,
water
yeah.
heater and the water pump and stuff. Yeah, we still do what we need to do, so everything's fine.
Yeah.
And we don't have a washing machine yet, but that's on the list. We've got a couple other little things on the list that we probably want to do. Washing machines being one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Although right now we can use your mom's, so we're fine there.
Yep.
But yeah, man, it's awesome. Thanks for hanging out. This is Music and Mascara. That's Leslie. My name's Dylan. Make sure you follow our channel. This is just the first 30 days. We don't know what's going to happen after this. I don't know that anybody does. Oh yeah, all links to all this stuff will be in the description below. We'll see ya.